Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy to have you here with me again today. And if this is your very first time watching my videos, hi, my name is June. I'm 25 years old. And this channel is where I share little parts of my daily life, hobbies, and personal adventures. I love showing you the cozy side of my days, the things I do for fun, and the small joys that make life a little brighter. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you'll enjoy spending this time with me, because today I have something really exciting to share. So, the story starts with me shopping recently, and as always, I can never resist checking out the hobby and toy section. I've always been fascinated by model kits, the kind where you have to put together every single little piece until you finally see the whole thing come to life. It's both a challenge and a very calming activity for me. And guess what? I just bought myself a brand new airplane model kit. Yes, an airplane model. Something I've wanted to try for a while. Because I've always loved how airplanes look so elegant and powerful. And having a miniature version on my desk just felt like the perfect idea. The moment I saw the box, I knew I wanted it. The packaging showed a sleek, detailed airplane. And when I turned it around, I saw pictures of all the tiny pieces included inside. It looked complicated. Honestly, more complicated than anything I've tried before. But that only made me want it more. I told myself, okay, this might be a challenge, but it will be worth it once it's done. So I brought it home, excited and a little nervous at the same time. When I got home and finally opened the box, I couldn't help but smile. Inside were so many tiny parts, neatly organized on plastic frames. Each little piece had its own number, and the instruction manual looked more like a small book than just a simple guide. At first, I thought, wow, this is going to take forever. But then another thought came in. That's okay, because the fun is in the process, not just the result. I spread everything out on my desk, making sure I had enough space to work. The tiny parts were intimidating at first, but I took a deep breath and reminded myself that all I had to do was follow the instructions one step at a time. I carefully clipped the first few pieces from the frame, trimmed the edges, and began fitting them together. The sound of the little plastic clicks as they connected was so satisfying. It felt like progress, even though it was just the beginning. As I continued, I realized just how much patience this model kit required. Some of the parts were so small that I had to hold my breath while trying to line them up correctly. A few times I dropped a piece and had to search all over the floor to find it again. It was frustrating, but at the same time, it was funny too. I told myself, this is part of the journey, don't give up. And slowly, piece by piece, the airplane began to take shape. Hours passed, and I was still sitting at my desk, completely absorbed in the process. I lost track of time, but I didn't mind. Even though it was challenging, there was something very peaceful about focusing on just one thing and watching it come together. Every time I finished a section, I felt a little rush of accomplishment. The wings, the tail, the landing gear, they all slowly started to look like a real airplane. There were definitely moments when I wanted to give up. Some sections were really difficult for me, especially when I had to align multiple parts at the same time. I made mistakes, had to take pieces apart, and redo steps more than once. But the funny thing is, those mistakes actually made the final result feel even more rewarding because I knew I had put in extra effort to fix them. As I worked, I also thought about why I enjoy building models so much. I think it's because it reminds me of life in general. Sometimes things look overwhelming when you see the big picture, but if you just focus on one small step at a time, you eventually get there. And when you finally finish, you realize that every little effort was worth it. Finally, after many hours of concentration, sore fingers, and more patience than I thought I had, the airplane was complete. I sat back and looked at it on my desk, and I couldn't stop smiling. It was beautiful. All those tiny pieces that had seemed so impossible at the start had come together to form something whole and impressive. Sure, it wasn't perfect. I could see little flaws here and there where I hadn't aligned things exactly right. But to me, it was perfect because I had built it myself. I carefully placed it in the spot I had saved on my desk, right where I could see it while I work. It instantly made the desk feel more alive, more personal. Every time I glance at it now, I remember the effort, the frustration, and the joy that went into building it. And I also feel proud of myself for not giving up, even when it was hard. This experience reminded me that sometimes the best things in life take time. We live in a world where everything moves so fast, where we want quick results and instant rewards. But building this airplane showed me again how valuable patience is. It's a slow process, the mistakes, the retrees, and the steady progress that make the end result meaningful. So, if any of you have ever thought about trying something like this, whether it's building a model kit, doing a puzzle, or even learning a new skill, I really encourage you to give it a try. It might take longer than you expect, and it might test your patience, but the feeling when you finish is so worth it. Plus, you'll have something tangible to remind you of the journey you went through. For me, this airplane is more than just a decoration on my desk. It's a little symbol of perseverance, creativity, and joy. Every time I look at it, I'll remember this moment in my life. When I was 25, sitting at my desk, building something tiny, piece by piece, and learning once again that patience and persistence can turn even the most difficult tasks into something beautiful. And that's what I wanted to share with you today. Thank you so much for spending this time with me, for listening to my little story, and for sharing in the joy of this small but meaningful accomplishment. I hope you enjoy watching me talk about this airplane model, and I hope it maybe even inspired you to start a project of your own. That's all for today's video. Thank you again for being here, for supporting me, and for being part of this channel. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like it, leave a comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you again very soon in the next one. Until then, take care of yourselves, stay positive, and never be afraid to take on challenges, no matter how small or big they may seem. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you so much, and lots of love. Bye.